Hello, welcome to Life Coaching with Ty. You can call me Coach Ty or Coach T. This is a platform where we'll discuss various subjects. I try to approach everything with an open mind. I would suggest that everyone else would try to do that as well. It makes life easier. I'm just hoping that you're able to take these messages and somehow implement them in your life, or be able to see the lesson in it to where you don't have to go through the same problem somebody else went through. Today's episode, it's a little different, but we're basically talking about karma today. And when I was meditating, what came to me was, what goes up must come down. And it took me forever to try to figure out what freaking song that came from. But I finally, after a few minutes, I finally found what song it came from. And I didn't find it. It's like a voice told me. Then it was like, oh yeah, that is the song. But No More Rain by Angie Stone. And one of the lines she said in the song is, what goes up must come down. The things you do come back to you. And there's no more rain in this cloud. Which is ironic because while I'm recording this, I'm at the park, but it's raining. So I'm sitting in the car. So it is some more rain in this cloud, but eventually there will be no more rain in the cloud. Okay, that's the message for somebody. Okay, also, what's meant to happen will happen regardless of how you receive that information or how the situation unfolds. Like, so say for instance, you catch your significant other cheating by going through their phone or something. You was able to get into it. You was able to see what you seen because it was meant for you to see it. If it wasn't meant for you to see, you wouldn't have been able to get into it. It would have been some type of obstacle if it truly wasn't meant for you to see. So, like, regardless of somebody, if you think someone accidentally tells you somebody else's business, it's not a coincidence. For some reason, it was meant for you to be able to hear that piece of information. And you just never know how that situation will come to play in the future. Okay, so nothing is really a coincidence, regardless of how you get the information or how the situation unfolds, okay? Also, nothing is ever really hidden. What you don't pay for physically will attack you mentally. And if you're not equipped spiritually, life is always going to feel overwhelming for you. Okay? Did you hear that correctly? Nothing is ever really hidden. Nothing you do. Even if you think nobody else knows, God knows. The all-knowing knows. So therefore, anybody can know if he really wanted them to. But nothing is ever really hidden. What you don't pay for physically will attack you mentally. And if you're not equipped spiritually, life is always going to feel overwhelming for you. Do you find yourself in a space of always feeling overwhelmed? Like it's always something. And every time it's always something, how are you reacting? You cool, or you just letting it get the best of you? You letting your emotions take over you? You crying, or you're fighting, or you're going to social media doing, just how are you allowing these emotions to affect you in the midst of your storm? Because that's all it is. It's a storm. It's going to pass. It's going to pass eventually. Storms don't last. You ain't seen no 24-hour storm. And we ain't trying to speak one up. Okay. I would like to say, if you believe in nothing, now is the time where you want to have a relationship with some type of God, or, you want to have a relationship with God, or whatever you prefer. I believe we all just referring to the same God in different ways, far as with the different religions. And, we just practice different things depending on which way you chose to believe in God. But that's just my opinion, of course. But a real relationship with God where you actually feel his presence and you feel his spirit and you're able to talk and confess and feel comfort and receive guidance. Like, it's really highly possible and 100% way more reliable than taking matters into your own hands. Like, you could talk to God at any time, talk to him about everything, and I promise, like, it's like the situation will get handled effortlessly. Okay? And you don't have to be perfect, because I'm definitely not. It's a lot of things that I'm still trying to change about myself and that I still want to do differently. But I still have that relationship at the end of the day. But back to my main point, be good to yourself and other people. You will be held accountable for your actions. So be genuine, be supportive, be loving towards other people. It helps you and them. So, and I mean, it's not hard to just be nice to somebody or to go out your way to help somebody here and there. It's no problem with that. You gonna get it back. So what's the point to trip? And back to the phrase, what goes up. No, not what goes up. What goes around comes around, and what go up must come down. Okay? So, life, the more I live, I'm just learning that life is just cycles, okay? You repeat the same cycles until you understand your lesson, and then you're going to go into some other problems that's going to have its own cycles that you got to learn your lessons through that too. Each level is going to be lessons, it's going to be cycles. And so it's just best to just really know what you want. Know what you want and be good to people in the process. Because nobody who's really successful actually know how they really did it. I mean, they know, like, don't get me wrong, they grinded, they did this, they did that, but they didn't know when that certain person was gonna come across them. They didn't know when the day would change where they fully booked out all the time. It wasn't always out like that. And so that's why you be good to people in the process. So what you working on can flourish, and that doing good deeds, helps you as well. But you're not supposed to do the good deeds strictly because it's going to help you. You got to genuinely, in your heart, want to help people in order for you to actually, see the rewards. It has to be genuine at the end of the day. But karma is real, and some things your children pay for, okay? So in this lifetime, you might not even receive all your karma. Your child might have to be held accountable for some of your actions, or your grandchildren, etc. I feel like that's why some people have lessons and hardships that they can't comprehend why it's even happening to them. Some people feel like, I've never did this, I never did that, I just don't understand. And it's just because you're paying for something that's on your lineage. Like, it has nothing to do with you, but in this lifetime, they need you to learn a lesson from it, whether you started it or not. So hopefully, this adds some pieces to your puzzle on unanswered questions. Some of y'all just need to pay more attention to your surroundings. Your answers be sitting right in your face sometimes. And don't do nothing you don't want done to you. Yes, you have free will, but is the karma worth it? That's just something you might want to think about. And because this isn't, a full session, but that's it for today. And I thank everyone for tuning in. Love and light to all. Also, ask yourself, not ask yourself, but think before you react. Okay? Think before you react, and take some deep breaths before you react. Because in that moment, you need some oxygen to be floating to your brain to help you have a little bit more sense. So you want to think before you react, okay? Is the charge worth it? You know what I'm saying? Is the consequence of your actions, is it worth it? Just, keep that in mind.